And she said, "Isn't it obvious?" And I said, "Apparently not to me, because I don't know what you're talking about." And she said, "Why are you trying so hard to fit in when God made you to stand out?" And it's
Wow.
taken me a while to just embrace who I am and to realize I'm that person that walks into a room and I'm almost like an elephant that tries to hide behind a blade of grass.
Hello, this is Healing with Hannah, and today's guest is Denise Pappas. How do you pronounce your last name? Pappas?
Pappas.
Pappas. Denise Pappas. And I'm really excited to hear her journey and her story. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Denise.
Well, Hannah, I have a nickname. It's Miss Fabulous because I
Wow.
feel like every day when you wake up, you get a choice, and I just choose to be fabulous. Now, I can be fabulously mad, fabulously upset, fabulously, but in the end, I'm still fabulous, right? This has been a journey of mine, my whole life. I've always, just a little story. My grandmother had told me everybody at school, she was a school, she worked at the cafeteria, and I was in junior high. And every time I would go through to get my lunch, all of the other ladies would say, "Oh, Sylvie, she looks just like you." Now, what teenager wants to look like their grandmother? So
Oh.
one day I was at her house and I was just staring at her really intently. And she's like, "Do I have something on my nose? Like, is there something on my face?" And I'm like, "No, I just don't see why everybody says I look like you, Grandma." And she asked me, "Who do you want to look like?" And I said, "Well, all the other girls in the class." So she took me, she lived on a farm. She went down to the farm and she said, "What do you see to the left?" I said, "Corn." "What do you see in front of you?" "Corn." "What do you see to the right of you?" "Corn." And I was like, "Okay." She says, "Well, that's good." And then we walked to her garden and she said, "What do you see here?" I said, "Oh my gosh, you have beautiful flowers here. Looks like there's some carrots, maybe some cabbage, always green beans." And she said, "Well,
Hmm.
good." And we went back to her porch and sat on the porch swing. And she said, "Did you learn anything?" And I thought, "Grandma, I must be stupid because I don't get it." And she said, "Isn't it obvious?" And I said, "Apparently not to me, because I don't know what you're talking about." And she said, "Why are you trying so hard to fit in when God made you to stand out?" And it's
Wow.
taken me a while to just embrace who I am and to realize I'm that person that walks into a room and I'm almost like an elephant that tries to hide behind a blade of grass. God just made me to stand out. And so I've embraced that and I just try to share that love. And when I leave people's presence, I want them to feel better about themselves and the world around them. And that's why I try to be fabulous.
Oh, that is such an amazing story. So stop trying to fit in. And what was the
Because
other part?
God made you to stand out.
And God made you to stand out. And I think it applies to each and every one of us that,
Absolutely.
you are perfect just the way you are. And we strive so much for perfection that, oh, if we only did this, we'll be better. If we only did that, we will be a better person. But at the end of the day, you are perfect. You were made perfect, actually, because
Hmm.
God makes perfection.
Hmm.
It's just that sometimes
So,
over the years, we take on a bad behavior, and
hmm.
a bad habit.
Hmm.
But there's no bad person, just bad behavior. Remember that.
Yeah.
So that's so exciting.
Hmm.
So tell us, what does healing mean to you?
I, I really appreciate that question because I think sometimes healing to people think that that's a physical healing, which it does, But there's times when I think it's more subtle. There's not like this big change and I'm gonna make this big healing happen. I think sometimes it's a little more subtle than that.
Hmm.
I think for me, I've struggled with if I'm truly honest, I get anxious a lot and it goes back to that I'm an overachiever by nature.
Yeah.
So I like to, it's not that I have to be perfect and I've given up perfection. It's just that I like to over deliver. I like to under promise and over deliver to people, and that makes me anxious sometimes. And to the point where I always want to please everybody else, but at the same time, it goes back to that you can't keep giving from an empty cup. So healing for me is to make sure that I give myself the same grace that I give others and to just, in a word, breathe. I think it's just
That is just
breathe.
amazing. So I just want to recap on the last sentence that you said is first, we need to fill our cup, and then only we can give to other people. It's like one of the things I say, if you
Mhm.
don't love yourself, how can you give love to other people, something you don't have, something
Mhm.
you don't do or
Mhm.
don't feel? So it starts everything from within to fill yourself up with love and affection and healing, then only we can give it to the
Mhm.
people around us. Yay. Very good message.
Exactly. Exactly.
Awesome. So, share one tool from your journey that the audience can walk away with today and start using it to heal themselves, whether it's mind, body, spirit, or just in general.
Well, one of the things that I find myself, it's like just to breathe. And it
Hmm.
seems, oh, that's so simple. But when's the last time you took like a really deep breath? And I have what I call the 478 reset breath, where you breathe in for 4 seconds. So you're just sometimes I just close my eyes and I breathe in for those 4 seconds, and then you hold it for seven
Ooh.
seconds. So you count seven and then you let out for 8 breaths, almost like you're trying to fog a mirror, where you're like, that has really helped me. And I try to do it 3 or 4 times. That's really helped me anytime I feel anxious. If I have a big meeting that I have to do, I might have done that before I got on here with you, Hannah. Um, or if you're going on the stage, or if you know that you're going to have some conflict and you just need to calm yourself down, I find that that's an easy way to center yourself and give yourself just a few extra seconds to just really breathe, because I think we're so busy in our life doing everything, and sometimes it feels like a fire hose of information's
Yeah.
coming at us, and we're trying to it almost feels like we're swimming upstream sometimes, and we're trying to do so much
Let's
that
practice for our audience. Let's do
Mhm.
it together and practice for
Mhm.
the audience one more time so they really get it. So let's do breathing in for 4, hold for 7,
Hold for 7, exhale for 8.
awesome.
Doesn't that kind of leave you like, oh, I feel so much, just it just kind of is
Yeah, it's
calming and
like my
centering.
shoulder drops. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
And you can do it anywhere, anytime. It doesn't cost anything.
yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest things is um, just breathe.
Awesome, awesome. That's lovely. So, is there anything else that in your daily ritual you practice that really helps you be centered and healed on a daily basis? What's your daily habit?
The one thing that I do besides breathing every day and more of that is I journal.
Ah,
I have I went through some great grief and loss in my life, And the only thing that got me through that was journaling, and somehow it helped me um, just to express my emotions because we always feel like nobody else knows what we're going through. But sometimes
Mm.
for me, if I don't have somebody I can talk to late at night, if I can just put it in my journal, today I'm really sad. Today was just not a good day for me. And I don't know why, but God help me to remember I'm going this through this for a reason. And what can I do and what can I share with others? And I think that's why I personally am on that mission. My tag is Mad Fab. I want people to be Mad Fab. And Hannah's probably like, mad. What do you want people to be mad about? I want people to make a difference. I'm on a mission to make people be kinder and gentler. And I want them to be fab, fierce, authentic, and bold in all that you do because God made us to stand out. So whether it's breathing or journaling on your journey, both will help you and it's very low cost.
Yeah.
And it just is helpful. And I think the other thing, Henna, that I have started doing, not daily, but at least once a week, I treat myself and a friend to just either a coffee break or a lunch date. And it's nothing's planned. It's just let's just go dump. Kind of like the girlfriends get together, but it doesn't have to be, it's nothing hard. And sometimes it's just let's go for a walk.
Awesome. I'm coming.
Absolutely, anytime. And when I'm in Michigan, I'm going to be up there and I'm
Yes.
going to come see you.
And what state are you? Tell us which state you're from and your business name and how people can contact you if they
I'm
need you.
Denise Pappas, and I'm in Virginia, in Roanoke, Virginia. And you can find me at Fabulous Pappas Enterprises on Facebook right now.
Ooh.
Or you can email me at fabulouspappas@gmail.com.
Awesome, awesome. It was so lovely having you. And just to recap, audience, remember there are no one is broken. We're all perfect just the way we are.
Hmm.
God made us to stand out. So please stand out in your own energy, who you are. There's no bad person, just bad behavior that can be taken care of. And practice your breathing every day. Inhale for 4, hold for 7, and then exhale for 8.
Hmm.
All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you for being part of our program. And with that, I'm going to end the meeting and we will see you in the next episode and see somebody new in our next episode.
All
Take
right, be fabulous.
fabulous. Bye bye.
Bye.